Hello everyone, this is Gummy, and I am here with the first part of going to be recurring series of Get to Know Your Hero, a little guide so you can see how a hero plays before you go out and buy them. So we're going to start with Moon Knight. We're going to go down each of the power trees, so you can show I have no items equipped, so this is just base at my damage. It does have the Omega and the synergies involved, but for the most part, this is going to be level 1 skills. So we'll start with the first one. We have Spiked Gauntlet. It's a basic attack. It has a higher crit rate. It does damage against bleed. A lot of Moon Knight's abilities do bleed. Second one is the movement. This is your basic movement. The best is a good range. You can clear area quickly with it. He also has another one I'll show you later. The next one is the Dredging Ricochet. It's like Captain America's shield. It bounces around, and your next damage you do with the melee power is increased by it. The next one we have is the Stasis Gauntlet Punch. This is base damage, damage over time, and extra damage to bosses. So this adds to bleeding. Let me get close enough. And you can see the bleeding going down. So that's a pretty good boss killer, but it's slow. The next one you have the Moon Staff. This is your basic spirit regaining hit. This is one I prefer because he has some spirit issues. You can see this, he adds the same debuff as Frank Castle does some of the time, where they get intimidated. Okay, then we have Staff Sweep, which is just this. You can't move when it's activated. You can just basically stand there and hit everyone in the group. It's good if you're doing like Hollow Sim, but I don't use it. And the last one is Nunchuck Bulldoze. Basically hold right click and you move and hit everyone with your nunchucks, and you look very stupid as you do it. Okay, let me gain spirit back. While I do that, I can show you can see a bar right above my experience, the white bar. That is your tribute to Khonshu. They are gained every time you do a critical hit, and we'll get to that in a moment. So now we're going to look at the second, the Crescent Crusader. We just looked at the Legion there. This is the Crescent Crusader. You start off with the Crescent Dart Throw, damage and bleed. Basic thing, fairly quick, no spear cost. Next one is Explosive Crescent Darts. There's a spear cost for that. Basic range AoE. You have the Flying Movement Power, which is a Cape Glide, nothing fancy. Looks a little weird for doing for a long time though. Okay, then you have Crescent Snare, which is stun, and they deal less damage. That looks like that. There's a bit of cooldown. Next one we're going to do is Crescent Fan. It does damage and bleed. It's one I tend to use when I need to do crowd control. Not bad, doesn't use a whole lot of spirit. Our next one is Tripwire Bolus. I know a lot of people like this one. It immobilizes them and does physical damage over time. Let me go with some of the Omegas. So we'll just show you how that works. You can see they get tied up and does damage to them. Lastly is the Crescent Launchers, which is just an auto fire. The higher it is, the faster it is. The more points you have it in, the faster it is, and it's fairly fast, even at level 1. But not the best damage in the world, but it's not horrible either. You can see it's about on par with that, with the basic. And lastly are these special ones. These are from the Khonshu's Blessing tree. So the first one we're going to show you is Khonshu Unbound. It is very simply just no crowd control immunity, and tenacity, and the kind of thing you'd use in PvP. You have the Statue of Khonshu, which is a summon, brings in your statue. It has health and defense based on yours. It gives you a damage buff, and you gain life and spirit whenever you hit an enemy. It can be good. I know I personally don't use it. The last one is Tools of Vengeance. Now you have two options. Tools of Vengeance or Avatar of Vengeance. I'll show you that in a moment. Tools of Vengeance, they both give you a buff based on how much health and spirit you're missing. But the effect of this one is your spirit goes to 0, and you have basically your powers cost no spirit for the duration. So I can show you, I'll activate it, then I'll go here and show you that couple of the ones that cost a lot of spirit, and you can just fire away for the duration of it. And you can see now no more crits. My blessing is raising up as the crits go. Now, what I'll do is I'll switch to my main build. And I have the Avatar of Vengeance. Now this one's a little different, so let me get my crit rating up. Let me throw my items on just so you can see it. This is one of my raid builds, so you can see how fast the crits are going to build. So it takes 100 crits to get that up, so it's a bit of a problem. Just because it can actually take a while, and the signature, the Gruesome Frenzy, which is the big thing you want, which I can show you in combination. What it is, it's like Wolverine's signature. You can hit 14 times in 7 seconds, so you actually have to hit the button 14 times. It's a little tedious, but the less that life they have, the more damage they take, and if you hit with all of them, you do a big finisher. And that does a lot of damage. So here we are, and I can show you the ultimate as well. Now, Avatar of Vengeance, same as the one I showed you, except instead of your spirit going to 0, and powers cost nothing, your health drops to 0. So all these bonuses that give based on missing spirit and missing health, those will max. So I can show you right now. And I will use Gruesome Frenzy to show it off. So finish it, and there we go. The highest it even crit, it just did a normal hit for 1,000,000 damage, which is high. And then the signature, and then you gain about that much health. It's good if you wait and just use a med kit once it's over. You gain life back based on how much you did over 30%. And finally we have the ultimate, which is the Mooncopter, which is really stupid. You call in your Mooncopter, which is an unmanned drone, and it shoots everything and missiles and things like that. Okay. One last thing to look over is we have the passives. You have Carbonadium Armor, which is a defense rating, max health bonus, a chance to ignore damage, you can block, and you deal damage back when you block. You have Fist of Khonshu, which is crit and brutal rating, damage rating with melee powers versus enemies targeting you, and a 50% chance to cause them to cower on a brutal strike. That's how that one works. And the last passive to talk about is multiple personalities. If you know Moon Knight, you know he has at least 3 other personalities at any given time. Current series, he has, I don't even know, he's made a personality for every one of the Avengers. But for the main 4, you have Mark Spector's Resilience, 40% maximum health when you're defeated, regen. Stephen Grant's Fortune, 3 more credits for drops, not fantastic. Lockley's Cunning is 10% chance to find special items. And Moon Knight's Strength is you and your allies gain power, which is damage rating and attack move speed. It's honestly a 1-point wonder, if that, just to get the power and the re-up. But honestly, even if you're rating the re-up, it still counts to death, so there's no real point to it. So I didn't even put a point into it for that. So, that's Moon Knight. I hope you learned something. If you did, I'm going to put one up for every hero that I have, which is all but about 3. So, I'll see you in the next video.